I like how some podcasts start with a summary of the show. They say stuff like, oh, in this week's episode, we spoke about, and it's obvious that, of course, they wait till the episode's over. Yeah. They get a little drink of water and then they get back and they record that. But I thought, wouldn't it be fun if we did that without even doing the show? Like start with the wrap up, even though we haven't done the show. I'm thinking this week's
a minute and a half long.
Well, we don't know what the show's going to be, but we could do like a pre-show summary before we even record it. See how close we are.
Oh, you want to just do a quick one-liner from our notes and then just see where it goes?
Yeah. Like I'm almost thinking in this episode, we talk about the random photo of an old middle-aged man dressed like a waiter DJing that Rich sent me. Mike's new washer and dryer. How Mike's pet peeve is when light wash items get mixed under heavy washed items. And how Rich turns to mowing his lawn for podcast inspiration. All this and more in this week's episode of the Cool Dad Shirt Podcast.
Also, we talk about all the bits I steal from the movie Tommy Boy, lawnmowers that will not die, how much I love old sayings, and seeing people like Kevin O'Leary out of context is like seeing your teacher at the grocery store when you were a kid.
Perfect. So I don't know which one of these items you want to start at, but I think in chronological order, there's that random photo of a dad with a black shirt on DJing. And all you said was, remind me to talk about this on the next show.
I'm glad you did because I forgot. Now I'm calling it up on my phone right now. There was we'd have to see my granddaughter for her birthday, and on the TV in the background in the house there was just this. I don't even know what it was. Some like music channel on the cable out in Rochester. I don't even know what it was. I'm playing in the back. It's yacht rock, the West Coast sound, adult 80s adult contemporary, and it was DJ Papa Wanty. Dude, I couldn't. This was so hypnotic. This guy, we might have to put a photo up.
He looks like a show. He looks like a dad who waiters part-time at a steakhouse and DJs on the side.
So this I don't know. That's not going to work. This guy is just sitting there. So imagine if he's got a black shirt, a tie on. He's got headphones on, sunglasses, and he's sitting in front of like a little DJ turntable type thing. There's a little dog holding a small wine glass off to his right. He's got a Mac computer that he keeps looking at, and a glass of wine sitting there. And these songs it's just songs you know and love from the 80s. It's yacht rock. Sure. It's kind of chill and mellow for background music. And he just sort of does this a little bit. He takes a sip of wine and he like turns a knob. It's doing nothing. He's turning knobs and just doing stuff like that. And then he, looks over, he's checking things, he's tapping stuff on the computer. And this just went on for way over an hour. And it was just omnipresent in the background. And I could not stop watching it. It was, I don't know, dude. It was hypnotic. And it was, we'll have to drop a photo in somewhere, but, we got to look this guy up. It was hysterical.
Does the station just invite guest DJs to come in and play music for whatever given duration?
I don't know the cable platform, if it's a show that runs an hour and they get somebody else in. I have no idea. It's just like you'll remember before Spotify and all that stuff like that, they had in Pandora, they had your cable channel actually had music channels on it.
Yeah,
your cable provider had channels. Yeah. So it's the same idea, but instead of just having like a lava lamp in the background, there's a guy actually pretending to DJ, and he would pause momentarily to have a sip of wine, and he was way into it. And
well, that's an interesting point. I wonder if he really is DJing or if he's just pretending to DJ and there's some random playlist that just comes on anyway. Almost like the Yule Log of DJing. It's not really a fire.
I am confident it's the Yule Log of DJing. His movements were not lining up with anything between songs, but he was grooving, and it was hysterical.
It would be so great if he was only on like a 3-minute loop and you could tell like every time the loop restarts of his movements and like the sip of the wine. It's like the Truman Show. And here comes the sip of wine at 1 minute, 12 seconds. There it is.
The glass is always full.
It's so funny. After 3 minutes, someone comes and fills his glass up and we don't even see it happen.
We don't even see. Sleight of hand. It's amazing.
So nice to have some context around that random photo you sent.
Yes, which I totally forgot. Thanks for reminding me as I instructed you to.
Yeah, number 1 on my list this week.
Coming home from work today, you mentioned mowing the lawn. It's been super, super rainy here for many, many days. And today we had a break, and it was finally a dry day with a little bit of sun. Driving down my street, there was kids riding bikes everywhere. There were moms pushing strollers, and every dude was scrambling to get their lawnmower out and squeeze in a lawn mowing in between this time. It was something to see everybody scrambling to try to make it all happen. It's been nuts.
Yeah. I think there's rain for the next couple of days, right? So it's either
we got now. So this is our only chance to get in there. So ironically, or I shouldn't say ironically, I guess it's not ironic at all. My lawnmower, which I have not maintained in many years, hoping it will die, did not die. It started right up. It took 4 pulls this time. And runs like a champ. With old gas in it from last year, I could be brought up on charges for abuse at this point, but it's still going. Apparently, there's been a long history of really well-made lawnmowers out there that just keep on going.
You can't kill them.
You can't.
Future go-kart engines.
Yes, exactly. That's how we did it back in the day.
It was back in the day. Even go-karts now are electric when you go to places.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot are. You really miss that smell of fumes that would stick to your clothes, where everybody would say, "Oh, you must have went go-karting today." How do you know? You smell like exhaust fumes.
The lung cancer is way down, but you're really missing out on the smell of gasoline. It's like, it's part of the soundtrack of your life. It's always kind of been there for that stuff.
We talk about dreams a lot on the show. My dad mentioned a dream that has been reoccurring for him. He says he's dreaming that he's playing golf and he wakes up every time and he doesn't know if he's under par or over par.
That makes him crazy.
And he keeps having the same dream.
Okay, that would... Yes.
Like, he said, I do everything I can. He said, sometimes I wake up, I try to go back to sleep. He said, I always wake up and I never know. I never know.
And it haunts him for the remainder of the day. Every time. Every time.
Yeah. I'll never know if I'm under or over par. Forget score. I just want to know, am I over or under par?
That's not asking too much, really.
No.
So old time sayings. There's always a few. I had one. I overheard somebody at work make a statement, and it makes me laugh. This is one of the ones I really like. I'm going to try. Let's try to bring it back. Let's try to see if it'll catch on. I heard somebody say, "Get them on the horn." The horn. I love it. I have questions about subwoofers, so I'm gonna get Crutchfield on the horn. I got some questions.
Call them up. Get them on the horn. That is a good one.
I don't even know how that started, but it cracks me up.
Get them on the horn. Yeah, that is a good one. I wish you gave me a heads up. I would love to have prepared some great old time sayings. There's so many of them. I can't remember a single one right now.
My buddy Lance always likes to use "and Bob's your uncle" as a way to complete. If you do something, you fix it, and it's all done. And Bob's your uncle. Apparently, it's an old English saying, but it makes me laugh every time too.
There's some good ones. We spoke about other old terms like dungarees. That one always cracks me up.
Where did that word come from?
Oh, it just hurts my ears. I'm convinced that my wife spitefully makes shopping lists for me sometimes. I don't mind going to the store, picking up some groceries. In fact, I enjoy it from time to time. But her grocery item list is so random that I almost need to put it in an Excel document and sort it based on order of appearance in the grocery store. I go in the grocery store last week, and I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this was spiteful. The first item on there is like milk, and then it goes to lettuce, which is on the other end of the store, and then it's sour cream, and then it's chicken,
Those things are not near each other in
and then
any
it's
grocery
Italian
store.
bread, and then it's crushed red pepper. Not one of those items is anywhere. And like an idiot, when I first went in there, I fell for it. The first 3 or 4 items, I'm like, all right, oh shoot, let me go back. This is already on aisle one. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's see. I think that's over here on the spices. That's got to be aisle 7. And I went back and forth, and then I said, no way. I said, I'm going to take a timeout, and I'm going to rewrite this list based on the order that I am familiar with of this grocery store's layout.
To Excel we go. That's a good, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can just filter it on produce, meat, dairy, so on and so forth.
And I thought how great it would be if there was a standardization of grocery store layout. And I understand they want to get you, they want to put the milk on the other end of the store so you kind of weave through a few aisles. You know, there's no way you're going to walk past the Entenmann section without grabbing something there. They always got the Poland spring water on sale for whatever, $6.99. You're going to scoop one of those up, which then leads you to needing a cart. So now they got you. You went in for milk. You got the Poland Spring on sale. That's in a cart. You got Entenmann's, and now you're like, I got all this room. You start loading stuff in it. So your $5.99 purchase just went up to about $60 instantly. So we know what's going on. But it would be nice if every grocery store you walked into was like lettuce, carrots, celery, potatoes, you know, onions, produce. Then you make a left, you come around, and then it's paper towels, garbage bags, plastic bags, dish soap. Make another right. Now you got your pastas, your spices, your salad dressings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I've never looked. Do grocery store apps do this for you? Is there I've never even tried, but that seems like if that hasn't been invented, people should have an app that you just type it in and it sorts out your route for you.
Yeah, you pick the grocery store that you want to shop at. You put your list in, and it shuffles your list based on order.
We're going to get a deluge of mail saying, you idiots, that was invented 12 years ago.
Yes. I might look into this and do some searching and see if this exists. So I mentioned this whole thing about this pet peeve about light wash items under heavy washed items. You know where I'm going with this?
I'm not sure because I may have an entirely different opinion.
So here's what drives me mad. Kids decide to make something on a baking sheet. So to avoid a big messy cleanup, they'll put a sheet of aluminum foil on top of the baking sheet. Therefore, not a messy baking sheet.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is they'll rip the aluminum foil off, and then they'll just throw, instead of putting the baking sheet away, which is clean because nothing's touched it, it'll find its way in the sink. And then the next thing that comes along is an empty plate that had tomato sauce on it. And then on top of that is a salad bowl that still has some ranch dressing. So now you have a perfectly clean cooking sheet at the bottom of the sink. And now you have a dish with tomato sauce and a bowl with ranch dressing on it. So now instead of just a little light wipe of the baking dish, now you got to get in there. It's covered with 2 other items. Now you got to roll up your sleeves and get in there and give that thing a good old fashioned cleaning.
Yeah, there's no way around it. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. So that's my pet peeve about light wash items falling under heavy washed items.
Ah, that makes way more sense. I thought when you said light wash, we were talking about clothes.
Jeans.
all the cycles on these machines that I will tell you my entire life, I have always done every load of laundry as long as I've lived, just pure cold water. There's just one setting. It's regular setting cold water. Somehow I've gotten through life with no options.
We just got a new washer and dryer delivered yesterday.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
And yeah, thanks. It's an exciting appliance to have.
It is.
If someone stole the TV, I wouldn't even notice. I wouldn't be bothered. The washer and dryer, I would be really upset about. Um, but the new ones, to your point, they have so many features on them. They're things that I'll never even understand, and you almost can't avoid them. Even like the basic machines have all these settings that I'll likely never use. So this one's got some crazy features. It's got a super deep tub, which is nice. It's got a bunch of different cycles, and it took me about 15 minutes to figure out how to override and just wash in cold with the high spin and no additional rinses. But I figured that out. Um, and the dryer, I didn't even realize this, but it has a water line that goes to it, and you could steam clean your clothes as well. So
Oh.
you can put something in there, and it adds some steam and mist to it. I don't know if it's for wrinkles or what, but
Hmm.
again, these are features that I'll probably never use. But it was an exciting delivery day for us here at the Cool Dad South Studio.
Nice. Well, give it some runtime. You can report back and give us a full review of the 200 features you don't use.
Yeah, yeah. Our old dryer, it was so loud and rickety, it sounded like nails scratching down the longest blackboard ever made. It was torture. Everybody would go in their rooms and close their doors and put their AirPods in. It was so obnoxious. We lived
Oh,
2 weeks with
nice.
that thing. It was like
Cool.
metal to metal grinding.
Oh, that is the
It was
worst.
so loud. And I looked last week underneath. There's like random plastic parts laying on the floor. I'm like, oh
Oh,
yeah,
just shreds
that's
and
it. This
bearings.
makes sense now. The whole family would go to bed at night angry at everybody because they were tortured by the sound of this thing every night. Kids would look at me in such disappointment.
Yeah, this is your job, man. This is
It's
your
my fault.
department, Dad.
Yeah, fix this, Dad.
Make it stop. We were talking about Kevin O'Leary, the guy from Shark Tank. And
Oh
I think we were
yes.
chatting on the phone, and I made some reference to him talking about you never know what's going to strike gold, and you do your best guess. As smart as he is and as wealthy as he is, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. And he was shocked to find out that a cat DNA test was the one that just cashed in a boatload of money for him. And so we were just chatting about that. I follow him on LinkedIn and just get to see some economic stuff. But then you made a good point about his other skills. Why don't you say what else you saw him do?
Yeah, I've seen many of his guitar videos, which are uncomfortably delightful. I don't know how else to explain them. It seems so out of character seeing him, and as you mentioned, seeing him all dressed up in Shark Tank, making decisions about acquisitions and investments makes perfect sense. Seeing him in some dad jeans at home in like your average dining room with this guitar and guitar amp playing, it's so out of place and it just seems so out of character. I can't wrap my head around it. No matter how many times I see it, it seems like a joke, but he genuinely is really interested in and into that hobby.
Yeah, and I mean he looks great. He's getting it
Yeah,
done. It's funny. It's so out of context. It's like when you were a kid and you went to the grocery store and you saw a teacher and it just bent your brain. It just seems impossible that they were anything else other than just your math teacher.
I think I would feel better if he played guitar while wearing a suit and tie. Like that would be an easier
Yes.
transition for me, you know.
Yeah.
But seeing him in like a t-shirt and jeans, like, hmm,
The reason I
like I'm
like you
okay
is
with
because
everything.
you're so
I'm okay with
business
everything.
proper. What are you doing?
Just not the outfit. It's not even the guitar. It's the outfit that makes me uncomfortable.
That's a funny experiment. What would that look like if he was dressed like Shark Tank, but laying into some 38 special
Yeah,
power chords on video?
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Playing the best of 38 Special, Bad Company, and Foghat.
Oh man, that would be something
One,
to see.
yeah.
Let's get him on the horn. We can see if we can
I'm
set
going
that
to
up.
say, dial him up, see if we can get him to at least record a couple videos while dressed up in a suit and tie. Speaking of guitars, I have this dilemma. I've played drums my whole life, and I wouldn't say that I want to quit, but there's something about the guitar, the amp, and all those pedals that just
Now we're
draws me
talking.
in. And I almost, I, I'm not kidding. There are days I think to myself, I'm getting a little bit older. I can't lug this stuff around anyway. Maybe it's time I sell it all. I take the money, I double down, I get a ridiculously nice, like super one of those high end dad amps where, like he doesn't know how to play it, but he makes a few bucks and had some money to spend. So he overspent on something he does not need. That
Some
and a
boutique
whole
hand wired thing. Yes.
some boutique. Yeah, I'm number 6 of 15 made. and and like forget the pedal boards. Like I just want like effects pedals. I just want to smell multiple electronic units. And I can't help it. And I see people with these guitars and they're so nice. And I'm so drawn in. And there's it's going to happen. I know it's probably going to happen at some point where I'm going to pan the camera to the right and you're not going to see drums one week. And you're going to think, oh, yeah, Mike must be tidying up down there in the studio. And then the following week, you're going to see some ridiculously unnecessary 412 cabinet with some super high end amp head and, a couple guitars and pedals all over the floor.
And then you're going to start a fight with me about fuzz pedals and whether germanium or silicone transistors make for a better fuzz sound.
It's all the rage.
No, I get it. Drums are super cool. In retirement, I hope to take a stab at getting better at those. But there's something great about the guitar. It's very portable. I mean, the drums are very difficult and they're very loud. I mean, you can go the electronic kit route, but it's a huge footprint. It doesn't lend itself well to playing under the tree on a picnic.
Yeah. I'm wondering how hard it is to learn guitar this late in life.
Well, here's the thing. It's not. But once you're in the club, you can't tell people how easy it is. You got to make the faces like you're struggling. It's got to look hard, but it's way easier. You got the initial thing. It kind of hurts your fingers at first and changing chords. You got a couple months of getting over a hump, and after that, it's just it's magic.
All right. So you're saying, let me get this down here. So you're saying it's easier.
Yes.
And don't tell anybody.
Okay. Exactly.
Easier lessons. Okay. I got that, Rich.
You don't have to keep time like a drummer. You can just wander all over the place and
all over the place. Bring it around. You can end on one. Let them figure it out.
You can say you're playing jazz or you're avant-garde by ending on 3 and.
Yeah. I'm over the bar again. Who cares? This is jazz, baby. I'm playing in 6/9 time, man. Figure it out, dude.
Figure it out. If you can't keep up with this, I don't know what to tell you.
My dog loves cappuccino. More than once, or lattes. More than once. Here's what happens on Sunday morning. I'll get up. I'll make a couple lattes, bring one in to my wife, bring one in for me. I'll set them down. I'll bring hers in. And one of two things happen. I'll bring hers in and then I'll go to make mine. By the time I come back with mine, hers is gone. She's finished it. So now I'm sitting there drinking my latte by myself. Other times I've made mine first so we can drink them together. And I'll come back with hers and I'll look over and the dog will be standing over on my pillow with his head hunched over to my nightstand, licking the foam off the top of my latte. And I will say to my wife, why is the dog drinking my latte? And she will reply with, I didn't know. I am so sorry. Make yourself another one.
Likely story.
And by the time I come back with my latte, hers is once again gone.
Yeah. That's hard to line up. Yeah. I can see your dilemma there.
I can't do it, Rich.
I recently spent some time with my mom, and I don't know why it took me so long to realize this, but a lot of my sense of humor does come from her. She has a unique way of looking at things, and it's something that we share. And I got to thinking that kind of makes sense where I get my sense of humor. But also at the same time, um, I listened to a podcast, the Fly on the Wall with Dana Carvey and David Spade. They had the director on of Tommy Boy because it's the 30th anniversary of that awesome movie. And so while watching it, I dialed it up again just to see if it still holds up, and it does. I also realized that all my zinger one-liners that I have, I completely stole from David Spade in that movie, and so I'm not as funny as I think. I just can remember parts of that movie really well.
His one-liners are very subtle, and they're not overly deliberate. So you got to pay attention to catch them. And whenever
You
you
do.
do, they after like a second pause, they kind of sink in and come together, and you realize how funny they are.
We might have mentioned this before. I think when he was talking about his stand-up career getting going, and he just kept bombing and bombing, he get no traction. And some guy at the bar, when he came down, the guy said, the little things you said in between the jokes were actually the funniest part of your show. Do more of those. So I think he honed his craft around some feedback from somebody in the audience, and he's a master at it.
That's absolutely right. I remember that story. Yeah, they sting a bit too, but they are funny.
Well, he got super famous with that Hollywood Minute back on SNL, where it was just the most sarcastic, rude insults of celebrities, which was very funny for us. But I think he got in a lot of Stone Temple Pilots were very upset with him for a while because he said, "Oh, SDP, yeah, they're great. I liked him better when they were called Pearl Jam." And I remember Scott Weiland. I think he was like really angry for a period of time. He goes, "It's all good now. We
Yeah.
patched things up." But he goes, listen, they're stupid jokes. Please don't take any of this seriously.
Bill Burr talks about those grunge bands. I don't know if you saw that. Um, he said how much he hated Pearl Jam because back in the 80s, he was into all the hair metal bands like Skid Row,
Mm-hmm.
Cinderella. And when Nirvana came out, he thought, oh, okay, that's fine. It's a one off. And then Pearl Jam came out, and he realized that this is the end of that era. So he felt as though that grunge movement killed all his favorite bands. So he hated Pearl Jam for a really long time.
Well, that timeline is accurate. That is what happened. There was definitely a
Yeah.
shift with all of that.
Bye bye, hair metal bands.
It's funny to hear Paul Gilbert, who a famous guitar player from the 80s. He was in Mr. Big, Racer X, a little inside baseball, but he's an amazing guitar player. He has classes on how to play stuff like that. But he would always joke around about, he actually had, most people have a roadie to carry stuff. He actually had a hair person. I don't know if it was a guy or a gal, but that just, teased the hair up and got it so that it was show worthy. And he said that was a standard, not joking around practice in the late 80s as part of that scene.
Yeah. I wonder what they were getting an hour.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're probably getting lung cancer from all those fumes.
Yeah.
But
That's it for my list, Rich.
yeah, I'm about there too. I am sporting. I don't know if you can see my hat. I'm working on some family branding here. So for the
What?
longest
Family?
time, my friend Mike, he did a really cool hat, a custom job. He drew a letter G for his last name, and it was super artsy and cool. And he had it custom embroidered, and I've envied it for years. And I could never come up with a great looking K. And I just, no matter what I tried, I've been very frustrated. I finally talked to my brother Matt. It's like we got to collaborate on this and come up with. And so he found this K, and so we turned it into embroidery. And I'm trying it out on this hat. I don't know if it's the exact product I want to run with yet. This is the prototype, but I'm kind of digging. I'm kind of digging it so far.
Nice. You had one or two made?
I the first one I had. So okay, this is the second one. The first one's kind of funny.
You didn't try an iron on at home, did you, Rich?
No, yes, and I have one permanently burned into my forearm. No. Because I can do a little bit of graphic arts, I turned the K image into what's the file name for embroidery? DST or something. I can't remember exactly the file name, but I was able to convert it over. So I went down to the local mall to see if I can have it done on the spot because they advertised that they could. I went in, I gave them the file, I picked out a hat. It was a New Era hat, pretty plain black, but it has their logo on the side, which is very bright white. The guy who was doing it, I was extremely stoned. He was having a really hard time following my very simple instructions, which was generally the color and the location of the. I wanted it just a little off center, and it was way off center. I think he was having a hard time. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I just took it and went home. And also the side that I the side that I put it on.
Like, hey, Scoob, we're gonna make another hat.
I've not done one of these in 6 months.
Shaggy's working the hat booth at Crossgates. Like,
yes,
hey,
he's got
Scoob.
bandages on his hands from accidentally sewing things to it. But anyway, it was really far offset. It was so, and then the New Era hat, which I generally like the product, but the white logo, the letter and the logo were so close. It was so distracting. It was really annoying. So I took a Sharpie to it, just trying to tone down the bright white logo, and that just looked stupid. So I took a razor blade to it, I cut it out, and then I was like, I'm not sure. I want to try this again. And so Jada, my youngest, my oldest, she saw it. She's like, "Oh, cool! Yeah." I'm like, "It's yours. Take it. I'm making a new one." So I then went to a local place, actually, instead of the big lids superstore type of thing.
Yep.
I went to her name is Alex. She Goldilocks. I think I have her card here someplace. I'm going to butcher this. Her business is called Goldilocks here in the Albany area, and she does lots of promotional things. Shirts, hats, glasses, anything that you need, business cards, so on and so forth. And she did a great job with picking the color, putting it exactly where I had asked, and so the product came out great. So a little plug for Alex over at Goldilocks.
So the one you have on is closer to what you wanted. Because
yeah, I'm
I love the
happy
placement.
with it.
I love the placement of the K.
Yeah,
I like that it's to the left.
I think I dig it. So we'll run with this now. If maybe I'll get some more if other family members want to jump on my bed. I don't know. It's a cool hat. That's all I know.
Yeah, no, it is cool. The K looks K-ish now that you know that it's a K, but it also does not look like a K, which
it's a
is
little
why
abstract.
I really like it.
And that's what I was struggling with, because every time I tried to design one or just pick a font from somewhere, it was so overtly K. It needed to have something to it.
What do you think you might be able to do with the letter C? There's not a lot of wiggle room in a C.
We'll have to bring Matt back in for some more consultation.
Man, if I edit this thing anymore, it's going to be an O.
Oh, that's good stuff.
That'll test your design skills. I want an abstract C.
Yeah, that one would be a challenge. That's about as simple as it gets.
Yeah. I'd have to work an M in it somehow to make it slightly abstract, to do two initials. Yeah. Gotcha. Do you want to recap the first birthday? Granddaughter's first birthday?
It was great, yeah. We headed out to Rochester to spend some time with a kiddo. It's something magical. It's very touching, actually, to see the next generation and your connection to it and how you play a role in the continuing of family. And it's remarkable. I can't recommend. Everyone go start having grandkids. It's amazing.
And give them a newly embroidered family last initial hat.
That's really where I was angling for this whole thing. Thanks for dropping that in.
Yeah. I know.
Hey, while I got y'all here,
I wanted to complete that cycle. Excellent. So that's it for me. I mean, it's been another fantastic Cool Dad Shirt podcast. I think our intro was right on the mark.
I think it was too. We checked all those boxes, and the hilarity ensued. Take
that, all other podcasters who do their summary at the end of the show.
We do it first.
Yeah. We like to do it before we know what the show's going to be. We back into the show. We throw some topics out there, and then we back into it. We're that good.
We are the first people to ever have thought of this. So, breaking new ground here. Like and follow. Smash that button. Tell your friend they were mentioned in the episode.
Yeah, we'll mention them. Hey, if you
And
follow,
we
we'll
will.
mention it. We will.
We'll do a cameo. We'll insult him. Just come on. Just give us a list of things.
Yeah, it's like
Tell
when
them they're on
those
the
people,
show. We just roast them.
when people go to an auction, the highest bidder gets like a walk-on part to a movie.
Yes.
If you like and follow and send an episode to a friend, your name will be mentioned on the show. That's how we do it here at the Cool Dad Show podcast.
These ideas just roll right. They just come right out.
Do it. I mean, why not? We appreciate our audience that much. We'll mention you by name on the show.
Indeed. Yes. What's really weird? COVID and all this video stuff, which was really accelerated that technology during that time, has all got us accustomed to watching people on the screen and the way they look. What's really weird? When you look directly into the camera when you're talking to somebody. Right?
It is. I tried it once during the show and I couldn't do it.
Dude,
I had to
so
look
unnerving.
away. I couldn't even see myself and I still had to look away.
I want to start doing that at work. Just staring,
Stare.
not blinking, just stare relentlessly right into the camera until somebody in the meeting says something.
Hold it too, like the camera froze.
Start turning your head. You're turning your head.
Listen, you
Can
want
somebody check on
another
Rich?
Teams call? Yeah. You want another Teams call? I'll give you one.
That's
This
right.
one, remember.
This concludes this episode of the Cool Dad Shirt podcast. Thanks for listening.